got so many guys out there. We don't know say love. The drama continues as always. We just had a president. But you want to be true, you make it true. But you get clicks, but when you go personal, what's really going on? Like, what's going on, y'all? This Greg said it. Back with another one. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? This Sunday here. Shout out to everybody here. Let me know where you are in the chat. I thought I unmuted this thing here. I've been saying talking this whole time here. I could have sworn I unmuted that. Appreciate that. Landon. These buttons doing what they want to do. As I was saying, you still not hear me? Maybe it's a delay on it. Delay. You should hear me loud and clear here. It was a mute on, but appreciate it. I could have sworn I hit that when it came on. This thing do what it want to do. But I was basically saying that we kind of in our real true transition right now with the first legit transition with the pillars of the team finally moving on, and it's different. Like you can't predict a lot of things. You don't really know who your QB gonna be. We kind of knew that the last couple of years. You knew what Travis would do. They had a lot of other holes like the line and stuff like that. But now we're looking at everything is just starting over. What's going on? Everybody coming in. Shout out to everybody coming in. And Miss NY Finest. Okay. So, January is an interesting time of year every year. I know for the last couple of years it's been that way where you're trying to figure out where things go. Like the first year Prime was there, it was like, what is it gonna be? Talking good, a lot of hype, a lot of fresh energy. And then you look up next year is like, okay, well, they did all right. They didn't do it good, but we know what they need. They need a line, they need this, and they need that. And we can fill in some gaps. How good could we truly be? They actually almost reached expectation a lot of people had, when what was it, 11-1. Some people said 12-0, but they really had opportunity to get there. Ultimately, they missed it, but they had opportunity to get there. The games, um, well, that Kansas game kind of got away in Nebraska, but realistically, they weren't that far off. And it's hard because they finally kind of getting that momentum. They had some of the best players they would have, and then you starting over now. You're trying to figure out, well, what is this going to look like? Now, it could be a thing where we say, okay, this team actually could be better, but it could be, but you just can't see it because you don't know what the team will look like. This is a true example of it's a rebuild because you're rebuilding not only with who is your core players, like I said, your pillars, they're gone, and your core receivers, your core quarterback, everybody's gone. So the good thing about the uncertainty, like I was saying, is the Cowboy situation is already seemed to be taken care of. So I don't know how legit that was or how big of a thing that was, but that situation looks to be taken care of. They got somebody within their organization. So you're not really talking about that. But just know that as long as Colorado continue to perform, that conversation is going to be pushed, whether it's at the college level or whether it's at the pro level. It's going to be a conversation of Coach Prime this, Coach Prime that. He could be going here, he can be going there. So that just come with it. When you look at the title, what I was looking at, Colorado it won't never be the same in a lot of ways because on one end, it's like the expectation, the standard, it always be compared. Just like whoever come in behind Shador or Travis, it's always a comparison. Even if you're good, it's a hard comparison. What Coach Prime has done, even all the way down to we've seen recently with the grades, they have the first time they have 3.0 with average with the team. You look at the money that he's bringing in and generating. You look at of course, the selling out of the games and just the whole energy, the whole TV component where number of people watching the game and the viewership. That's just one is unique to him. Wherever he's been so far, we've seen that. But it's new to Colorado in a sense. Then they've had a great program, great history. Can't say that they never had like packed stadiums. I don't know if it was always sold out. I know they had some good teams, but just the whole component, the totality of it. I don't think they've seen it all together. And especially with a team that really hasn't quote unquote proven themselves yet. A lot of people say, "Oh, they haven't proven themselves yet." Whatever. So they're just pure prime. It's going to be interesting what they do. Now, somebody asked me on the side note, have I been keeping up with the practices? The best I can keep up with them, of course, is a good old faithful well off. I've seen, some of the things. It looks a lot like a combination of media day slash combine. It's a combination because the all the different teams are there interviewing them. They having practices, and what I noticed will stand out, with especially receivers, they've been working hard. They've been here over in Atlanta training together, and from the clips that I saw, it looked like they look pretty solid. They look pretty dominant. I don't see every play, but it looks like they're gonna do pretty good. I've heard that possibly their draft um, potential is probably higher than what we think. So it goes back to that conversation of what we was trying to figure out. Like, I don't know. Y'all, what do y'all think? Like, far as how many people you think, based off of what you know so far, is going to be drafted? Now, you already know Shador is going to be, one of those guys. Travis is going to be one of those guys. Who else do you all think is going to get drafted when you look at who's left? I know Bentley is left. I know Shadoze is left. I know all our receivers, Shepard, Jimmy, Wester, all those guys are pretty much have a potential. I mean, they're getting the looks, they're getting the opportunity to go to the. I think Jimmy even had an invitation to the combine itself. So when you look at how they perform in there, do you see them potential to get drafted? I think in the beginning of the season, we originally was like, okay, I see about everybody was saying 8 to 10, stuff like that. Now I don't think that was far off, and I don't think that's unrealistic because of the fact that when you look at the season, if they had to perform, and they did it, I can a little above average. If they had a made it to that championship, I don't know. It's just something about the eyeballs, the respect you get when you're on a team. Is I don't know. Somebody say my screen is scrambled. I don't know what's that about. Anybody else see an issue on the screen? Anybody else having an issue with the screen? Okay, yeah, I don't, ain't nothing going on my end. But when you look at who do y'all, some people say don't say no names. Who do y'all think will be drafted out of the several rounds that they have? I feel like I don't know what. It's depending on what Shiloh does down there and the practices in the game. I think he has potential to get drafted. Even with his name, I think he'd benefit for that. Some people say fifth round, between fifth and seventh round. And what kind of team would benefit from a Shiloh? What kind of team would Shiloh have the best chances of playing at? I'm trying to figure out. My comments are definitely delayed, but when I look at Shiloh, I mean he definitely has an old school style of play, come up and hit. I know he's working on his coverage and things like that. He used to be fairly decent with his coverage before he had a situation with his knee back in Jackson. Was it the ACL or whatever? He used to play a little corner back in the day, and then they moved him to safety. So he used to be pretty decent. Um, I know that the NFL now is a lot more pass heavy, and but as I've been saying recently, I also see this thing now where it's kind of like that hybrid quarterback thing is pretty interesting because they run it. So it's like the pure pocket passer era is kind of transitioned to this dual running back thing that we kind of seen before, but it wasn't accepted, but we already seen it before. They say Travis, Shador, Shiloh, Will, Ajante, and Jimmy going to get drafted. And Jimmy going to get a drafted free agent. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And these are people that you're saying that you feel is going to get drafted. I think Shadoze do pretty good down there in its bowl game down there in the Hula Bowl. Do you think Shadoze is going to get drafted, or you think he's going to be a free agent? It seems to me he has good production. I think he can get an invite, definitely. I don't know if he gets drafted. They always make issues with his size, his height, or whatever, but I don't know. He said, I think Shane Coates is going to do good in the Canadian League. Mate going to be in the Canadian League. Yeah, and I hate for Mate because Mate, he had a really decent coming out year last year. I don't know what happened this year. He's definitely shanked more punts. He he just was very consistent. I was thinking at one point he could be a, NFL kicker, but maybe he just needs a little more experience. But so he definitely probably end up in like a UFL or one of those leagues. But I definitely thought at one point he could have been one of those guys. Um, so I mean he may get some looks at one of those type leagues. But I'm also thinking like, so we know Benson left. Mayers was down in the Hula Bowl. What do you think Mayers is going to get? Like, will Mayers get like a shot? I kind of seen a little bit during the game. I don't know. So we kind of lost. Originally, we had Tyler Brown on the list. His potential. He came back. Benson, he come back for another year, but he's leaving. So really don't have a lot of linemen on outside of Mayers. So that of course that list has been condensed for potential. Now defensive line we have Shadozi and Shane Coates. So I feel like those are toss up. They can go either way, especially with Shadozi. Shadozi can go either way. Shadozi can go during the 7th round or this free agent. I'm thinking that possibly he's going to end up being a free agent. I'm just thinking that he's gonna get his shot, but it's almost gonna be like what Weaver got. That's how I see Shadozi. Getting him in camp, see what he can do. Ah, I don't know. I don't know because maybe they want a little more sack. I know he does well against the run and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think they're still gonna hold the size thing against him, and that's just how I see it. But as far as those receivers, I definitely see those receivers getting a shot. Who do you all see as being like probably the first one to come off the board? Who y'all think like between Jimmy, LeJounte, Webster? Who y'all think first come off the board? I'm thinking like maybe LeJounte because of his history and probably what he's showing. They say in person his route run is just above them. So I don't know. I don't know what I would expect them to go. I don't know. I don't know if he's 4th, 5th round. I don't know. Jimmy is a guy who definitely going to depend on what he's doing down there in the game and at the practices because I feel like he could be right on that line of being like a low draft or free agent like and see that's the thing. That's the tricky thing about um Will Shepherd is he do have the size and he do have the SEC experience. Even though he don't have the numbers the other ones have, somebody might say they love that size thing, man. And I don't know. And he didn't really get to show a lot of things. What's going on, Ron? I have a theory, y'all. Y'all heard me mention it before. I have a theory that I feel like we had too many weapons. I feel like we had too many weapons the last 2 years. And I don't think it's just from the standpoint of we know our players and we think all of them good. I think that is a component, but I think that we we look at other teams, we always brag about, oh, we got all this, we got that, we got that. And they only have like a couple guys they all could be 4-star this, maybe you could say, but they had that 1 or 2 guys that stand out above everybody, kind of like what a Travis would do. And they get most of the balls, they get most of the looks. and there's no hesitation to worry about spreading it. But when I seen that maybe it's Shador or whatever, he want to spread that ball out. He want to make sure Jimmy get his touches. He want to make sure Travis get everybody got their touches. Almost to the point where it seemed like he was gonna do it at any cost. He's gonna do it even if the other one is open. He's like spreading it out. And it didn't really allow nobody to really dominate. Because I feel like Travis, as much as he did, he took advantage of opportunity. I feel like Amari Miller took advantage of his opportunity. But if you really was getting that ball to a few guys like that, like you were doing in the NFL, you're not rotating a lot of guys in the NFL like that. For one, the roster's a lot smaller, but you look at the fact that if Travis Hunter really got the number of balls that he probably should have, he would have been a super duper Heisman. Because you got to look at the fact they say he's always open. You go to the game, he's open. Now, it could be some of the stuff could be the line and block, but a lot of times it was like, let me get this ball to Jonte. Yeah, Travis wide open. Let me get the ball to Jonte. You probably can throw the ball to Travis almost every play. You probably can throw the ball to Travis almost every play. And it's like you could try to take him away, like Ohio State, with their top receiver. For most games, he's just gonna be that guy. It's rare that you don't really see him break out. I know in the championship he kind of was like slowed down, whatever. It's kind of hard to slow Travis down. So I feel like if you had Travis, LeJounte, and maybe Will, you know, without looking at them all as like a big time receiver or almost like looking at a potential pro and got to get looks. I think when you do it like that, you kind of take away the opportunity for somebody that's really monster. And LeJounte, like I said, the numbers he put together is old school. Of course, he didn't put it here because he had to share it. And I just think that the scouts gonna have to take that into consideration because Colorado is just it's too much talent, and I think it kind of like backfires in a sense. I don't know how they're gonna go about it this year, but it looks like it's like in a similar situation because okay, Amari Young come back. Is he gonna be the guy? Is he not gonna be the guy? Are you gonna spread it between him and Timmons? You got Cam Michael over there who can be that guy. You have Farrakhan. You got Gibson coming eventually. You have so many guys. You still have Draylon Miller. I don't know how he's gonna be used. You still got a lot of these guys who are going to return. In addition to the receivers you got the player from Williams from Tulsa. All of these guys, again, are big time guys on a college roster. And it's not the pros, because the pros ain't finna force it. They like, you gonna sit on this, we paying you. But them college guys, they jump in portals, they complain, they have all these different things. And I don't know how you get around when you have so much talent, especially when they used to being that guy, and make sure they get the looks and all that, but without really taking away from one guy who just got the hot hand. I noticed that a lot of times when Amari Miller comes out, he has that hot hand and he can take over the game single-handedly, easy. And he's done it multiple times. But it seems like when he's not really engaged like there, he kind of like, I don't know, he kind of fades or loses attention or whatever. But we say he's inconsistent and this like that. But I think that could be a part of it. Like, you don't know when you on off because you just got to stay alert when your opportunity comes. Let me see. He said Will has been showing strong hands and high point catches in the strong practice. I understand why he does have so many body catches. Why he does so many body. I don't know, man. And for one, he's probably been working hard. He's been working hard with the trainer. That probably could play a factor in how he's performing and whatever. But I know that I've seen a lot of hand catches. I just seen like the big play component. A lot of times he didn't really show, and he missed some opportunities to really show that big play ability. I think that's what he struggled. He really dropped a lot of balls, except that Baylor game was weird. But it's almost like I said about Amarion Miller. It's like things get kind of, you kind of like, you get relaxed or you get whatever. You see, you got other guys who can do what you do on the field with you, and you not that guy. So you feel like you can kind of let down a little bit or kind of like step back versus you that guy out there. You got to be ready at all time because you're that guy. And I think that's the challenge that they have. And hopefully you don't have to challenge the NFL. But again, I don't know. I know you got like receivers on the NFL, multiple guys who could really play because they all NFL. But one thing about it, that team is not trying to. You're gonna either emerge as a top guy. They're not gonna try to make multiple guys be that guy. You're not getting that same opportunity. You're not rotating like that unless that guy's injured. If he gonna be that guy, they're gonna make him be that guy. And they may have another guy on the bench, but they ain't trying to appease both of them like in the NFL. And again, the college, that's a challenge because you don't want nobody jumping no portal, and it's just a little different. It's not he and Will's working out with the team. Yeah, Williams. Okay, I didn't know if Gibson was coming. I didn't know if Gibson was coming because I thought he was coming maybe later in the spring. I don't know what was delayed. I thought he was coming. People keep saying the video going. I have absolutely no idea why the video was going in and out because on my end, I'm not seeing it. Is everybody seeing it? Because I've heard multiple people say something about the video breaking up. I don't heard at least 3-4 people talking about the video breaking up. To maybe just black your screen out today. Is it going in and out that much? Where's what? Yeah. Let me see. If I take the video out, what do y'all see? We have to be reminded that a lot of scouts are not good at assessing talent. I think Will gets picked before Wester and Horn. They have to make teams notice them at this point. So y'all say it's clear now. Yeah, I got the screen. Is the screen off? I have the screen off right now. And I think my stuff is. Is the screen still on? Because I have the camera cut off. I know seem like my stuff is delayed here. I guess it's good for now. I'm trying to see if the screen on or off. You see. So I guess it's up to Pat and what the offense look like. Yeah. A lot of stuff gonna be up to Pat. Do y'all see me on the screen right now, or is it all? We still see you. That's crazy because I supposedly have the screen. I got the button supposed to be screen off. So I don't know what this mess doing because it says start camera. So I know I still see myself on the screen. So I don't know what kind of glitchy mess going on because I got the camera off on my screen. The same thing. So that's why I say something's going on when we started the show, and I know I hit that mute button, unmute, and it still was muted. So something's off. But anyway, I'm just looking at just how going forward what Colorado could do. Now we really got to take this thing one step at a time. We got to look at just this year, this year alone, because we already know they do well. The mumbo jumbo starting back. Coach Prime gone. He going here. He going there. Jobs gonna open up every year. It is what it is. Same thing with NFL. Jobs gonna open up, and I don't know if you want to play that game with the NFL because when you play that NFL version of that game, I mean, it could get real inconsistent. I don't know if he want that in his life. I don't think he got into coaching to be unstable, be moved around and fired. He kind of like to be in control of his situation. So I don't think he gonna go to NFL and then be there for 2 years and then they let him go. He goes somewhere else. Then he the man. He ain't got to do that crap. He can do his own. He can do TV. He can do whatever. He don't have to do that. He don't need the money like that. So it's either he at Colorado or he controlling. The only way he in the NFL, he controlling the situation in the NFL. But needless to say, every year that they win, let's say they go win the championship this year, go to playoff. No, it's his third year. It's been increasing every year. Da, 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 da. What else can he do? That's gonna be the conversation. I think the big thing is gonna be when I look at what they're doing in Colorado, the ability to create, generate players every year who's going to be going to the NFL and who's going to be drafted. I think drafted more than anything. I think they're going to be looking at that. And I mentioned something on the show on Thursday will be Watts. I think that what Bucky's doing and his ability to create brands outside of just his brothers, and but that's gonna be the challenge. Just like Coach Prime got to prove himself. Can Bucky still create that kind of marketability? Because if you're able to do that in this NIL time, and you're able to do it outside of your brothers, and whatever, on the same level or somewhat the same, I know it's gonna be different because you don't know them like that. And you brought a system you had from another school to this school because it was easy to do because you had the same people involved. But I'm thinking that right there can go a long way when it comes to recruiting and stuff like that as well. I don't know what's going on with the Coach Prime not signing. I think they're still trying to figure out some money stuff, and it's probably more so with the NIL and coaching and stuff more so than him, and him needing another million, half a million, whatever. I think it's more so that because they have to get to the point, since the world is going to make you have to pay players and all that stuff to be able to recruit them, they're going to have to get to the point where they have that kind of money. And if they don't, I don't know. I think that they probably can rival the Big 12, and that's a big part. But in this playoff model, it's just when you look at the competition, it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge. So I'm thinking that's probably more so what they're concerned about, because you will imagine if somebody like Coach Prime came and then they left, just the void that you have to fill. Who could come in and be compared to that? I think Colorado's in a good position where, because of the stuff I mentioned about not wanting to go and be in and out with the NFL teams, I'm thinking that he probably will benefit staying at Colorado from a stability standpoint, unless he find another college team that's more beneficial and whatever than that. But what he's able to do at Colorado is just hard to do anywhere else. I think Colorado was in a place where they was open to anything. I talked to some guys who played in other programs, SEC programs, and say, I couldn't play for Coach Prime. I couldn't do this. I just want to focus on football. I don't think that they making nobody get on that camera. I really don't. I don't think that it's a requirement. I think that it's just part of their culture and what they're trying to do to, speak to people like us who follow them, who are just not the typical football fan, and also as a recruiting tool. And I think some kids do want to be seen. And I think that plays a lot in the fact of when you're dealing with Bucky, the challenge is going to be like, okay, who wants to do this? Or who's uncomfortable with this? Because some people say, well, I always see the same people on there all the time. The same people. And then now you see more people. Maybe I don't need Bucky was there. I think Bucky was down there in Texas and Dallas. with Shador training on one of them videos, and it's like, I see more people on this video now. And ever since Shador, I'm thinking that was somebody else, one of his partners doing it, because I think Bucky was down there in Florida, not Florida, in Texas. So it's a lot of things that people gonna have an eye on. Like, what's changed? Do you notice this change? Do you notice that change? Do you notice how more people are able to be seen? They win. They will be saying stuff like, "Oh, well, they played better because they're not playing daddy ball. They didn't playing better because this, that." Chat. Let me know if this chat still going here. Y'all put some in the chat, y'all can still hear me what I'm saying, and let me know how that screen is looking. If the screen's still up, making sure stuff is not glitching on here today, because there was a lot of movement in the chat. Then it's kind of like locked up, and I know this chat has the ability to be kind of whatever. Let's put something in the chat. Let me know y'all able to hear me and see me. Okay, y'all good. Let's say one. Okay, yeah. But like I said, this right here, this time of year, I've been keeping up with the well off. That's about all we got. Reach the people. I've been kind of just trying to keep an eye. I've been looking at the workouts and stuff like that behind the scenes, seeing how the team look, looking at the new strength coach, how he's interacting, his methods of like kind of like keeping it very positive and kind of light, which is smart because you're new to the guys. He came in with like a bam, like, oh, everybody's like, this guy's gonna be tough. But he got this little soft touch to him, and he's positive and he's encouraging. And I think that's a good ground to build on, because some people probably come in here don't know what they're getting into. They just come into Colorado, they know, this, that, and that. But it's like you just kind of have to calm them down, kind of get into things. Because at the end of the day, it's still football. What's going on? What's going on, Elijah? Yeah. A lot of people ask, like, what you expect from the season predictions. I think it's kind of pretty early to make predictions of what the season's going to be, honestly, because when you look at it, it's so much. Uh, I think Colorado this year, more than anything, looks like a typical team, and maybe that'll be good for them. Like, maybe that'll be something positive where it's not a lot of star power at this point, and I don't know what the hype is going to be outside of Coach Prime, and maybe that'll make a difference. Maybe that'll make a difference. I don't know, but I do know that we're gonna be here for the ride. I'm gonna tell you that. Um, I'm hearing that a lot of recruiting is taking place in some areas. It's a lot of low key stuff, and I think they're becoming more and more low key in the down here, like in Atlanta. Here, a lot of top players are being recruited by Colorado. I think below and behind the scenes, a lot of stuff is going on, and they're putting less and less on that camera, I think. But I think it's gonna be natural because the star power that you have as for now is not there. Like, when you think about who's the star, who's gonna be the star well off other than just a generic look. You don't have Shador, you don't have Travis. Charlotte was kind of, Jimmy kind of emerged. You had those guys to kind of keep it almost like a reality show. And a lot of people say, "Oh, they're just doing it for clicks." But now it's gonna seem like it's gonna be a little more we just focus on football. And again, I don't know. They're gonna catch a lot of teams off guard because, one, you can't really hone in on nobody at this point, and two, you can't really get up for them the same. So they can catch you slipping. Like, you get up because I'm finna play Shador, the number one quarterback. I'm gonna get up because I'm finna play Travis. And sometimes you got people A game. Like, sometimes you got the Colorado's everybody Super Bowl, like they would say, because people up to. But now it's like, all right, this Coach Prime team, and the talent could be just as good in a lot of ways, but because you don't see them that way, maybe you don't get up for them the same way. Maybe you're not hyped for them the same way. And that's what I'm saying. It could really pay off where you kind of look over Colorado in a sense. You look over Colorado. So I think the defense will be nasty and the offense will be balanced. I definitely think the offense will be more balanced from a standpoint. Like you ain't throwing 80% passes or something like that. And the fact that the quarterback will run more, you can't just think you finna just go ahead and try to sack him, and then that's how you stop him because he can take off right past you. And Shador did that a little bit, and I wish he did a little more. But this quarterback brings that element. You also look at the fact that we still don't know what's gonna go with the running back room. Still kind of waiting on that. Kind of like with Sap, kind of you hear stuff, but you wait. I'm thinking that the running game is gonna be more profound, and we're gonna see what that receiving room would look like. Now the defense being more nasty, I'm curious to see what that looks like. I know they have some nice edge rushers coming. They already had some coming back, so that should carry over. They just got to kind of build up that middle. You know, they got a few guys coming in the middle. You lose block bully, and then you're also looking at the fact. I think you got a nice core group of linebackers. That I think probably the most underrated group would be the linebackers because they're not no big names. Kind of like Hill Green, but Hill Green was like he carried that Michigan title with him, and they still didn't know who he was. He came from, was it Charlotte? And so Bentley was already there. People were like, I don't know about that because he was there the year before. And then you had the Trevor Woods and stuff like that. You really didn't have a lot. We were trying to see what Webster going to do. So when you look at the fact that, okay, you got a couple good linebackers in here instead of one from size or whatever, you still have Webster there. You still have a few young guys who coming back from last year, and one is coming in. So you probably gonna have more depth and more options at linebacker than you had for the last couple of years. And that's so from that standpoint, if them linebackers can be, I would like to use more of them, keep them healthy, but just the different components. If you can have a strong linebacker group, because that's what's really been the last couple of years that made a difference in the defense. Hill Green made a difference in the defense, but when he wasn't on point and Bennett wasn't on point, it looked like she couldn't stop a flood. Like the run game was just all over the place. So I think that if you got a consistent, strong run stopping, because they're gonna run the ball in this conference, as we've seen. But I don't know what they're gonna do because I see Texas Tech running back and Cincinnati. They all had a lot of good running backs. Most of them has been gone. So going on. So I don't know what they got behind them. So, but they're gonna run the ball. And if your linebackers ain't on point, it's like a leaky faucet all the time. So hopefully they on point. If they on point, everything else good. I think the secondary has some good components. I think bring back two strong corners, brought in a good safety. I think Stoudemire be good, and got a few more safeties. So I think the secondary has the potential to be better. I think it has the potential to be better. If not this year, definitely next year, because those guys can come back another year. They were freshmen and stuff like that. So that secondary is a development thing. I think they can be strong next year. Probably have a few draft picks come out of there. And the linebacker core, it could be, I don't know about nasty, but it can be pretty stubborn. It can be pretty stubborn. And we add that ball and the clock management component from the offense, that'll help out. Being able to run the ball, turn the danger zones in effect this year. Yeah, I think they have potential. I think they have the potential to sneak up on people because they don't have the brand names to, I don't know, distract or draw attention to. So I think people gonna underestimate Colorado because we ain't hearing that from them. They lost Travis, they lost this. We can relax now. We can take a deep breath. I think that some teams gonna do that. Now the thing is, a lot of the teams that they played this past season, they didn't play. They're gonna play this year. So I'm looking at, I think, West Virginia, BYU, Arizona State. More teams that you didn't play. But we're gonna see how they respond. We're gonna see how they respond to the fact we're not hyped up over Shador and all that. Could be a thought. I think Colton Hood could be. I think Colton Hood could be. It all depends on his off season in the weight room, getting better understanding, and because I think he's aggressive, he's confident, he's skilled, he has the speed. I think his growth over this off season, it should be substantial because he can kind of playing a role, and he made some plays, kind of like Mario Miller came in playing a role, making big plays. If you look at, if he can come in and solidify himself, I'm not just a role guy. I'm a guy who's going to be locked down. I think that, and get some interception and some body slamming people. I think he could, if not this year, next year. Yeah. Until the offense clicks. The good thing about the offense is they running the ball more. That should help them click. Then have to figure out all these receivers and timing and all that. I think that if they can get a solid run game, they can help themselves. Hopefully, be a lot better blocking. See the difference in defensive calls next year. No, this year. Let's see. I don't like, and I'll say it multiple times, I don't like to see a bunch of guys line up on the line and they're not doing no assimilated pressure. I didn't even see that. It looked like it, but they were still just everybody line up and blitz every play. I think you're not confusing the guys when you always coming versus dropping and make them have to figure it out. I think that a lot of times we just kind of, and didn't come home. We didn't come home with the sack. We didn't come home with the tackle. Get in the backfield, don't make the tackle. All that type of stuff. That's not going to work. You got to be a lot better tackling. When you're dealing with a lot of running teams, you'll do a lot better tackling. I don't know what kind of drills they need to do. I don't know what kind of aggression they need to add. But that's one thing for sure. Colorado, I know they don't like to practice hit, and then they don't like to, they don't want people to get hurt. They need to figure out how to get some tackling because they tackling. That's a universal thing in football now when you really look at it. Like a lot of college players don't tackle well, but Colorado stood out. The games that they lost, even some of the games they won, tackling. Get in the backfield, hit somebody for tackle for loss, can't bring them down. You had plenty of opportunities to stop first downs, and you couldn't bring them down. Is that a weight room thing? I don't know. But I know at the end of the day, if they can figure that out, they have a chance to shock a lot of people. Kind of like how Arizona State did. Nobody saw them coming. Nobody paid attention to Scalaboo till too late. And I think at some point, Colorado will establish some names, and you kind of eventually see, okay, maybe next season, halfway through the season, oh, this that guy, that's that guy. As of now, nobody checking for that. And that's a positive thing. And that's why I'm going to leave it at y'all today. It's a Sunday. Got a lot to get done, a lot to do. And hopefully I get back to do inspiration motivation later. But if y'all new here, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. If you're new or you've been watching for a while, haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do that. Comment. And as always, I'll be talking to y'all real soon. Y'all have a good remainder of your weekend. And I'll see y'all at the Inspiration Motivation.